Chennai time loop, break free part 5. Last sunset starts their new life. A new day broke, and for the first time in what seemed like forever, it really did feel new. The sun rose, bathing Chennai in a golden light, and the air pulsed with the real-life chaos of a city moving. There was no reboot, no comforting thrum, but only the real-world reality of a future yet to be written. Anuradhan woke up not to his usual screaming alarm, but to the gentle, strange ring of a text from his mother. It was a simple, "Good morning, son. Call me when you can." He gazed at the screen, a knot in his throat. It was a message from another day, a day that had no right to exist in the loop. The world was out of whack. It was moving forward. Manjuri awoke in her upscale bedroom, and the first thing on her mind was to see the news. The headline that appeared on her tablet caught her breath. Controversial industrialist Samraj questioned by police after journalists' report. A subsequent article explained the cryptic, coded message on Samraj's jacket, verifying that indeed something had made it through the reset. Shrutatharni, in his penthouse, was already in high gear. He was desperately going through the remains of the loop's system. The core server had actually crashed, tracing behind it a line of corrupted data and broken code. The phony empire was falling apart before his eyes. He recognized the failure of the system was not merely a technicality, it was a testament to the incalculable strength of human will and an adroit biological message. The first new day. The three of them met, not at their regular coffee shop, but at a police station. They entered together, a solid front, prepared to share their incredible story. They had no physical evidence to support their tale, every shred of it had been lost in the loop except for the message left on the DNA, but they had something stronger, collective knowledge and a chilling clarity of mind. They were greeted with distrust, naturally. A veteran inspector, Murugan, heard their tale of time loops and corporate cover-ups with a mix of incredulity and amusement. But the mention of Aradhana Rajendran caused him to change his tone. The Queen, he breathed softly, an old cold case now returning to mind. He had been one of the first officers on the scene of her supposed accidental death years ago, and he had always felt something was off. Their vivid report of Samraj's money manipulations, his secret accounts, and the exact places where his illegal transactions took place, which Manjuri had learned by heart through scores of loops, gave the necessary background. Anuradhan's explanation of the technical specifications of the loop, and the character of the false empire, lent their allegations an eerie plausibility. And Shrutatharni's breakdown of the code of the loop gave irrefutable evidence that a system of manipulation had existed. With the DNA material from Samraj's clothing as the smoking gun, and with the three having perfect recall of events from a bygone past, Inspector Murugan had all he needed to get a warrant. As he set out to apprehend Samraj, he gazed at Anuradhan, Manjuri, and Shrutatharni with a respect that had not been there before. "How did you know all this?" he inquired. Anuradhan smiled faintly. "We had to learn it. We had plenty of time. A new tomorrow." The arrest of Samraj shocked the city. His virtual empire collapsed in a flash as his property was frozen and his secrets unraveled. The reporter, Prakash, was hailed as a national hero, his gut instinct proven right. The Chennai time loop legend grew, a shared story of three ordinary men who escaped an infinite day. But for Anuradhan, Manjuri, and Shrutatharni, the deepest transformation wasn't the recognition or the defeat of a villain. It was the plain, lovely reality of a future that they could at last decide. Anuradhan summoned his mother to his side, and for the first time in ages, they spoke for hours on end, but not about work, about their lives. Manjuri returned to her family, her role now not that of a CEO, but of daughter, of sister. And Shrutatharni, for the first time, shut off his work screens and just sat and watched the sun go down, a whole world of possibility spread before him. Samraj's empire collapsed with the speed, brutal effectiveness of a house of cards. The false empire he created on a basis of deception and a time loop collapsed, exposed to the harsh illumination of an actual, dynamic world. He was found guilty, not only of the murder of Aradhana, but of all the crimes he'd committed as protected by his recurring day. The mythology of the Chennai time loop became a cautionary tale, a topic of interest and terror. But for Anuradhan, Manjuri, and Shrutatharni, victory was not merely justice. It was about what followed. Reclaiming a life. Anuradhan no longer lived with the desperate need to survive. The burden of debt, which had seemed impossible in the cycle, was now manageable. He quit his job at Synergy Tech Solutions, no longer a cog, but a free human being with an exceptional intellect. He began to work on projects that really meant something to him, applying his engineering knowledge to design sustainable energy solutions for tiny villages. His happiest hours were with his mother, the talks lengthy and leisurely, a treasure more valuable than any business success. Manjuri broke free of the corporate world. The textile empire, once her confinement, was now an instrument for change. She sold a large chunk of her family's assets, investing the money in founding a foundation that protected the environment and provided corporate openness. The very causes Aradhana Rajendran had struggled to advance. It was slow, hard work, and far from always lucrative, but it was honest. Her existence was no longer measured in boardrooms and spreadsheets, but in meaning and communion. She at last had time for her family, joking with her father and swapping secrets with her mother, developing ties that had been missing for what had seemed like forever. Shrutatharni, the ambitious billionaire, was likely the most deeply transformed. The preoccupation with control and orderliness, which had characterized him, was now useless. He applied his vast fortune and technical expertise to creating systems which benefited, not mastered, individuals. His first project was a worldwide database to record and uncover corporate corruption, a cyber memorial to the queen he never met but whose passing had liberated them. He also began teaching young programmers, deriving a sense of human contact he never knew was possible. His existence, once so isolated, was now a life of teamwork, meaning, and even camaraderie, a notion he was finally beginning to understand. The last sunset. Years went by, and the three of them stayed in touch, a special bond created in the fire of a time loop. They would occasionally meet, not to remember the past, but to discuss the future, their families, their jobs, and their lives. They met one night on a rooftop with the Chennai cityscape stretching out before them. The sun was just starting to dip below the horizon, casting the sky in orange and purple hues. Below them lay the city alive with the hum of traffic and human noise, a dance of a million separate lives unfolding in time. It was a beautiful, frenetic existence that they had come so close to losing. Anuradhan smiled, gazing at the sky. It's difficult to believe, he whispered, that there was once when this sunset was something imaginary. Manjuri nodded. And tomorrow was a promise that was never fulfilled. Shrutatharni, for the first time in their acquaintance, did not make a technical or analytical remark. He just gazed at the two individuals sitting next to him, his eyes kind and with gratitude. Tomorrow is real, he added, the words weighty. And that's all that matters. Chennai Time Loop, Break Free Part 6 to be continued.